at Orr's residence in Colonial Williamsburg. We're going to go take a look at what a typical resident garden would look like during colonial days. All the homes in Williamsburg were required to have fencing, and this white picket fence is representative of what the fencing was like. And it looks like they're master gardeners working in the garden. The lot is a half an acre. And we learned that in colonial time, they did have some vegetables for the family, but usually they were well served by farmers market in the central part of that would come in. There are several garden beds, a variety of cold weather plants that have survived, and they will be planting for spring, early summer. A group of master gardeners are working in the vegetable garden today. Fridays are vegetable garden work, and Mondays are the flower bed work. So this garden bed is a raised bed, and there's probably about a half a foot to a foot of soil that's on top of the regular soil, because this area is very high in clay. And to have a more porous soil with more nutrients in it, then the beds are improved. This is their first work day since wintertime. This has markers. They have thyme, marjoram. They have betony, orange, and other plants. Chives are growing. And all of the plants that are grown in this garden are used by the colonialists during the 18th century. The homeowners would have a small kitchen garden mixed with flowers, not as many flowers as are in this garden. They have fennel. They have herbs planted along the fence line. They also have 2 climbing roses. The variety of bulbs that are planted here, and fortunately, this time in spring, there are some things that have come up. Daffodils, both yellow and white. And then there are a variety of other plants that are planted as annuals. They're crocus. And one of the common plant or flowers that you'll see throughout Williamsburg gardens are the Johnny Jump Up. So they add some color here in early spring. And then we have English daisy in different colors. Here's another grouping of English daisies. The master gardeners are responsible for maintaining this, and every fall they plant bulbs. They replant some of the other flowers that will be coming up. The height of the garden is late spring and into May for the blooming flowers. And the vegetables will be well grown in all of the beds the end of April and into May. Now, this particular bed would be like a fallow area, and it's planted in crimson clover. And this cover crop is worked into the soil. It will be turned over and chopped up into the soil, fixes nitrogen through its root, and is a way of self-fertilization. And this is a technique that's carried over from colonial times. Straw is put down on the walkways to prevent weed. This bed has a variety of cold season vegetables that have overwintered. Swiss chard. This is the variety. Some are allowed to go to seed, so the seeds can be replanted so that you have a continuous crop. And this bed is getting ready for planting. Today they're planting peas. These are fava beans. And again, these were used by colonialists in the 1700s. This bed has Welsh bunching onions, and these onions have been producing and been divided and regrown for the past 15 years or so. And here's the Russian red kale. And these cabbages were left over from fall planting. They're called Brunswick green cabbage. Rows of garlic. We're early spring here in this garden that the master gardeners are maintaining. They plant every year about 1,200 bulbs in this border, and tulips are one of them. They replant daffodils, even though daffodils are perennials. They have a whole variety of other plants. This just shows what's popping up for color right now in this garden. As a resident that had a half an acre, it was common that there would be a small garden area, which we saw, fruit trees for the family, and livestock, which would be primarily sheep.
The reality of a typical residence garden was a small garden of vegetables and herbs that supplemented food purchased at local farmers markets. In contrast, the governor and wealthy upper class families had several gardens and a staff to maintain them. Many of Williamsburg's gardening practices continue today. I hope that you can use these gardening roots to grow thriving gardens that you love. Thanks for watching. Subscribe at Garden Yay. See you again soon.